What's up, guys? How's it going? So I'm sitting outside my house right now, and I like to sit outside and just kind of think, kind of process some things that are going on. I like to form new business ideas, that I'm typically doing a lot of things. And I kind of want to talk about something as like a motivational, like Friday post, and talk about something I haven't really talked about much because, like, honestly, it's kind of more of an emotional subject. And so I don't like to get very emotional, but, I'm just sitting here thinking about a year ago, actually about a year ago today, and how drastically my life has changed over the course of 1 year time span. So I kind of want to run through it quick. Video might be kind of long, but I tell you it's a good video. Um, Basically, so if you were to tell me I'd be sitting here right now a year ago, I would have told you crazy. Told you were crazy. I'll put every bit of money on it that what you're telling me is not true. So a year ago around this time, I had bought a motorcycle. Okay, I bought a motorcycle though, and it was totally against my parents. I was living with my parents, totally against what they wanted me to do. They told me not to buy a motorcycle. They're like, you live in our house, don't buy it. And me being just dumb about it and actually selfish, I was like, whatever, like I could make some money off this bike. I want to buy this bike. So me testing the waters, I bought a bike. And so 3 days after buying the bike, against what my parents' rules are, I got kicked out of my house. I completely smashed the relationship between my parents. Completely. I mean, I really didn't talk to my dad, talk to my mom for a good amount of time, mostly my dad. And so I get a call. I'm not living with my dad anymore. I bounced around a couple different places, and I get a call from my mom, and I was out camping, and my mom's like, hey, don't freak out or anything, but your dad had a heart attack. And I'm like, come on, Mom, don't freak out. So dad had a heart attack. Being the tough man that he is, he had a heart attack on a Sunday, and he didn't go into the doctor till Wednesday. He goes in the doctor. He's got a lot of blockage in his arteries, but they're able to put stents in and kind of fix the problem. So what we thought. So he gets the stents in. It was maybe 7 to 10 days later. My dad was outside with my mom in the pool, swam underneath the water and everything. Did a couple laps. Told my mom he felt great. And then that night, my dad has a massive heart attack in the middle of the night. So my mom actually had to pull my dad off of the bed, give him chest compressions for like 10 minutes or so, until the ambulance arrived. Ambulance arrived, came there. They had to shock my dad like 7 times to get him back. He died in the ambulance and everything else. From there, my dad was hooked up on a ventilator and then an Impella, I think for around 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know, he was in the hospital for about a month. So all this went down before I really ever built the relationship back up with my dad, which was just like horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the last thing that we had was an argument over a materialistic item, over a motorcycle that doesn't mean anything at all. So he wasn't supposed to live. The doctors told us to pull the plugs. They actually called us in the room, and we prayed around my dad's bedside for his passing. So in the middle of praying around for his passing, I'm sitting there thinking, sorry, this is kind of emotional. I'm sitting there thinking, like, who gives a shit about a motorcycle now? Like, your dad's about to die, and the only thing you're caring about was a freaking motorcycle at the time. And so saying sorry to someone who you think is gonna die. They're telling you he's gonna die. They're telling you he's got 1%, and you just got all these emotions running through. Thank God. My dad ends up actually getting through the surgery. He pulls through. Doctors still say he's going to be brain dead. He's never going to be around. Like, he's never going to be the same person or anything like that. My mom was like, no, we're keeping him around. We're not pulling the plug. We're not doing that. He's there. And thank God for my mom, saying that we're not pulling the plug or anything like that. But we just believe, we just believe that it was going to get better. And so my dad starts getting better. This is a really fast forward story. Dad starts getting better. Couple weeks after that, we hadn't gone to the hospital. I start to get really sick. I'm having all these weird symptoms. Next thing you know, my left foot is just killing me. Being young and dumb and stubborn like my dad, I go like 2 months limping on my leg, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm a personal trainer. Like, it'll go away. It didn't go away. So all of a sudden I got to a point, excruciating pain. I end up in the hospital for 4 days, and then they tell me, hey, you got RA, you have rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm like 23 years old, rheumatoid arthritis. And I lost like 20 pounds, and like I lift religiously, you know, so like I'm 20 pounds down, I have RA, I feel like I'm not going to be able to compete with that, I'm always going to be in pain. And honestly, to the point where I was just like, you know, whether it was the medication from the steroids make me think this way, but I was like, I don't really care to live, like I don't, whatever, like life's whatever, it doesn't matter. And second day out of the hospital, I literally looked myself in the mirror and I'm like, you know how to fix this. You know, this isn't the end. People go through way worse things. Your dad almost died, and now he's coming back, you know, and then you're sitting here, you know, crying about your pain that you're in when you can easily fix this issue. You just have to put in the work for it. So I start putting in the work. I start eating better. I start doing the right exercise. My mom was actually a big part of that. She goes, dude, go get in the gym. Like, what are you doing? Like, you need to get in the gym and fix this problem. Most uncomfortable in the gym. Everything hurt to do. But I just kept trusting the process, and I kept pushing through what was going on. And so, you know, I start to get better, and I start to feel better, and then I start listening to a lot of podcasts, and I was painting pinstripes on the cars. Absolutely hated my life working, painting pinstripes on a car, not caring about it at all. And all I kept thinking was, I'm destined to do something more than this. Like, there's no way this is what my life's going to end up being. Like, I'm not going to work this 9 to 5, come home, you know, maybe take a nap, eat, and then go to the gym. Like, I hated it. So I actually, at Club Fitness, I talked to the director there, Danielle, and she just approached me and my buddy one night in the gym, which my buddy Jake was a huge part of why I got back into it as well. There's a lot of people out there. You guys know who you are. And, you know, she approached me, and I'm like, for some reason, I just had the urge to tell her, hey, just, you know, I'm like NASM certified. I'm a personal trainer. And I told her. And that was literally the turning point in everything that's happened in the last 6 months. So you're talking about the first 6 months to this last 6 months that I've had since like a 7 months since like December time. So tell her I'm a personal trainer, and then all I looked forward to was the 2 hours I was allowing in my schedule to be a trainer, because I cared so much about my other job. So I go to my mom one day and I'm like, hey, so I want to quit my job and and just do training. And she's like, well, you got bills to pay, like, you know, you got to make sure you have a plan on all that. I didn't have any clientele at Club Fitness, none at all. You know, I just started. I don't even think I had an initial assessment yet, maybe 1 or 2. And so I go to the director, Danielle, and I'm like, hey, so I want to quit my job. Like, would that work out? And she's like, well, you know, like, I don't know. And, you know, like, she was pretty positive about it. But, you know, it's like, I got all these bills to pay, and I'm just going to say, screw it and quit. And I really couldn't handle it anymore, because with the RA, like, it was hard to walk around outside all day, and I was just in a ton of pain, and I hated it too. So I'm in a ton of pain. I hate it. Actually, 2 of my employees there, Adam and Jose, they're like, hey, dude, you just need to quit. Like, you don't care about this place. Like, all you care about is training. You talk about it all the time. Like, just quit, man. Like, just go for it. So, basically, I quit my job in December. I start up at Club Fitness in January, and I told myself that I'm going to get up every single day. And I got up every single day at 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and I was going to put in the work until I got to where I wanted to be, and I was going to make it happen. No clientele or anything. 1 month, I fill up my clientele. I have a full client list, and I came in and just buckled down, and I worked 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., 8 p.m. every single day, and then went home. And, you know, people saw my stories, and I was posting about how much I was working. Like, dude, you're killing it. Like, you're up early. And then, you know, I was also putting in 8 to 12, you know, on my own business, which I'm still doing today. So I'm putting in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 hours a day every day, sleeping like 4 hours, which I know isn't good. But I do try to get enough sleep. And, you know, fast forward now 6 months, okay? So in 6 months, I've received 5 more certifications. I'm about to actually finish my 6th certification this weekend. And all I did was buckle down and work as hard as I possibly could to get to the point that I'm at now. And all it took was buckling down and knowing what I, like, you know, envisioning where I was going to be and what I wanted to do, and losing that mindset of being selfish. You know, I stopped only caring about what I was doing and just caring about people, and like worrying about what people's goals were and what they wanted to do. I'm very confident as a trainer in what I can do for people. And I just told myself, I was like, you know what, I'm never going back to 9 to 5. I'm never doing that. I'm going to do what I think I'm passionate about, and I'm going to make it work. I had a lot of people saying like, oh, like, personal trainers, you're not going to make much, you're never going to have the things that you want. But honestly, that's a load of shit. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think in any industry at all, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you put your mind to it and you make the right moves, you can make a living out of anything you want to do. I don't care if you want to play Fortnite every weekend. I don't care if you want to, pick up dog poop outside. Like, you can make a business out of anything that you want to do, but it's just about figuring out the path behind it. And so like they're telling me like I'm never gonna get what I want or get where I want, but I have the car that I want. Now I have the motorcycle that I want, but I live not with my parents, so it's okay now. But then I'm also looking at buying a house, all while being a personal trainer. And it's just about coming down and buckling down and working as hard as you can at what you love. Like, if you have an 8-hour day, cool. You got to spend 2 more hours with your family. You're at 10 hours. Why not work till put in your craft 4 to 5 more hours on doing what you love? And everybody's passionate about anything. Like, it's about finding what you're passionate about and then honing in on it and doing it. Because, like, especially for people in my age who are now like, out of college for a year or whatever, like, I'm telling you, if you love your job and you're passionate about it, you're in the perfect spot. But if you hate where you're at and you're going to work a 9 to 5 for the next X amount of 40 years of your life, because most of our life is going to be work, you're going to get this unfulfillment when you're going to get in your 40s and 50s and have that midlife crisis and be like, I feel like I've done nothing. I've just worked, But that's cool. Like, maybe your passion's family. Like, maybe you love spending time with family. Then do that, But if you're in a position where you're like, well, I can't do that, or it's not going to happen, it can happen. But you got to be willing to, instead of watching TV or watching your favorite Netflix series, to go in and put in the 2 and 3 hours, even if it's a half hour every day, but putting in the work and building something up to the point that you want it to be at. Now, my case was a little different. I don't have anything else going on, and I'm basically like, I'm going in this industry full blown, and I'm doing everything I possibly can, but I don't have kids, and I don't have a super huge payments or anything like that. So I've been just risking after risking after risking on things, and I've never been happier. And I work 5 a.m. to 12 o'clock at night, and people see the 5 a.m. to 7, and then I work on my own business from 8 to 12. And I'm going to put in that work and constantly train people and constantly try to get people results and constantly putting in the work for it, because I have goals on where I want to get to, and the only way that I'm going to do that is by putting in the work. And it's as simple as that. Like, you don't need to be watching all these hours of television and getting you nowhere. You don't need to sit around and, sit on the couch like, oh, I'll take an hour off and I'll just sit down. Like, you could do anything. You could be cold calling people. You could be working on your car in your garage if you're passionate about it. You could be anything. Building things, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's an unlimited opportunity to do the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life. But any great business isn't built like immediately. Like, you're not just gonna work for a week straight and put in 16 hours and then all of a sudden you freaking making 6 figures a year. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, you have to put in the time. There's people that put in 20 and 30 years of work before they ever get to where the point where they can actually create their own schedule and be laid back on it. But like, I bet you any amount of money that those people are like, I'm so glad that I did that over the next course of years, because if you're around my age group and say you do have kids or anything like that, like, you can still do it. But you just have to buckle down, because you don't know the kind of difference you can make in your life in a year. Like I said, a year ago, my dad was supposed to die. He wasn't supposed to be living. I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. I was at a job that I hated every single day of my life, and I did not want to do it. And then now I'm a full-time personal trainer, growing my business, doing what I love to do every single day, and I waste zero. That's the big thing, is emotional energy. I would go to my other job, and I would come home and sleep for like 2 hours after my job, and I was getting up later than what I was now and going to bed earlier. But I was wasting so much emotional energy on what I was doing, that I was just exhausted. Like I just couldn't, I was so sleepy. I came home, I would sleep because I wasn't fun. I hated it. I mean, every hour I absolutely hated what I was doing. I wanted to leave. I didn't want to be there. And now that I'm following what I'm passionate about, it's easy. Like work is easy. And I hate to even call it work because to me it's not work. Like it's just finding out what that passion is, taking control of your time, making sure that you got a family, you got kids, like I said, you got things to do. Even if you can put a half hour in on what you love, whether it's studying for what you need to do, trying to build, any type of business at all. Like I'm telling you, there's a business in everything, in my opinion. Everything you can think of, there's a business in it. But the whole point of the video is like, you just need to believe in yourself and you need to find what you're passionate at. And if your mind's not right, the first place I'm going to tell you it starts is your food and exercise, because everybody knows that food and exercise is directly correlated to like building up your dopamine levels and being happier. And if you're happier, everything's easier. If you move better, everything's easier. So if you don't know where to start in the gym. Start with your food. That's where I tell you to start at. After that, figure it out. Write down a list of 6 things you absolutely love to do, and then see if you can put in time on doing it. Like put in like 30 minutes a night or 30 minutes or whatever, and see how much you love to do it. And I guarantee you, it ain't gonna be 30 minutes, because next thing you know, 4 hours are gonna go by, and you're gonna go, holy crap! Like 4 hours went by and I didn't even realize it. That's the kind of stuff you sit there and love. I mean, there's weekends I've sat in my basement and I come home at like 11 o'clock after training and it's 6 p.m. and I feel like I've spent an hour in the basement and it just has flown by that quickly. But yeah, it's just, you got to find what you're passionate about. And I'm sitting out here thinking about a lot of stuff, and like, I'm trying to impact as many people as I possibly can on this stuff, and and impacting on a different level, impacting through social media, so that, people understand, like, there's going to be struggles, and it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody. Everybody struggles in their own way. My struggles don't even compare to some of the struggles that I've heard from people. Don't even compare. Like, I hear sometimes people tell me things, and I'm sitting there like, wow, like, I thought my life was hard, and I don't even know how somebody goes through what they go through. So it's just whatever you're at, whatever you're struggling with, whatever stuff you got going on, just know you can make a difference in that. You could be a totally different person in a year, at a different job, in a different relationship, and just not be in the same position that you're at. And for me, it started with I was hurting. I got myself to stop hurting. Actually with the rheumatoid, they had me on 1,200 milligrams of ibuprofen and 2,000 milligrams of sulfasalazine. In 3 months' time, I got off all my medication and I stopped taking everything. And actually, I'm going to go to the doctor soon and get my blood levels worked out, because I think they diagnosed me with RA, but all honesty, I don't think I got RA. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to make a little bit of a motivational Friday video. Like I said, just go to work. Just, if you don't like where you're at, start figuring out, ways to get out of it. Now, don't quit your job. If you got a family or you got bills to pay, like, I quit my job, but I was like, screw it. I just said, screw it. I mean, I seriously could put myself in a deep hole, but for me, I work better with my back against the wall, because it forces me to have to go do something. But if you don't like where you're at, you don't like your job, you don't like what's going on in your life, make a change, because life's too short. You don't want to live the rest of your life where you hate what you do, or hate who you're with, as sad as it is. You just don't want to do that, because, you're going to come to the end of your journey, and I'm not no 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old guy, but, you're going to come to the end of your journey, and you're going to be like, wow, I can't do anything, and now I feel like I've accomplished nothing. And to spend 80 years, 60, 70, 80 years on this beautiful planet and not have accomplished anything or make an impact, that's going to eat you away, and you're not going to want to be in that position. So I make posts about it all the time. Be generous, help people out when they need it, go out of your way for people, because you can make a huge impact on somebody's life just by opening a door for them, or buying the person behind you, you know, their Starbucks or whatever you want to do. But even making those little impacts are huge. So 3 things to take away on this video: help people, make an impact, and take risk. Those are the 3 things that I personally transitioned to and started doing, and I've never felt happier getting out of being selfish and getting into those things. I know the video is kind of long, guys. I appreciate you listening. If you have any questions about anything, especially when it comes to, you know, your health and wellness and things like that, you know, and food, please reach out to me. I love answering any questions that I can. I don't mind at all. I mean, you guys got it. I'm absolutely passionate about what I do. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you have a great Friday.